There are moments in life when the heart grows tired of asking. You raise your hands again, and again you whisper your needs in sujood. You repeat your du'as with hope, yet the doors seem closed, and the rescue longed for feels distant. In those moments, the shaitan comes quietly and plants a dangerous thought. Maybe your dua is not being heard. But pause for a second and reflect. The issue is not that Allah is not giving. The issue is that we sometimes misunderstand how Allah gives. We think risk is only money, only numbers in a bank account, only visible success. But Allah's rizq is far more vast than what we imagine. Rizq is peace in your chest when everything around you is chaotic. Rizq is a heart that still turns back to Allah after every mistake. Rizq is protection from something you never even saw coming. And yes, rizq is also wealth. But wealth that comes with barakah, that stays, that benefits, that doesn't destroy you. So when you feel like you've been asking and not receiving, maybe Allah is teaching you something deeper, to move from just asking to remembering Him. There is a powerful shift that happens when the tongue stops only making requests and starts engaging in dhikr. Because dhikr is not just words, it is a state of the heart. It is a declaration, Ya Allah, even if you don't give me what I want right now, you are still worthy of my remembrance. And this is where the secret lies. The Prophet ﷺ taught us simple acts that carry immense weight. Small in effort, but ahadhim in impact. Among them are adhar, that when done with presence and consistency, open doors we didn't even know existed. After Fajr, when the world is still quiet, when your soul is soft, when your connection with Allah is fresh, there is a unique opportunity. This is not just another time of day. It is a moment filled with barakah, witnessed by the angels, honored by Allah. Imagine sitting after Fajr, not rushing to your phone, not getting lost in dunya, but choosing to anchor your heart in remembrance. You recite a simple dhikr, not mechanically, but with understanding, with presence 7 times. Not because it's a magic formula, not because you're trying to unlock wealth like a transaction, but because you trust that Allah placed barakah in His remembrance. And slowly, something begins to change. Maybe the money doesn't pour in overnight, but opportunities start appearing. Your mindset shifts. You begin to see blessings you were blind to before. Doors that were closed start opening, not always the ones you expected, but the ones you actually needed, because abundance is not just about how much you have. It's about how much barakah is in what you have. And here is something we often forget. Sometimes Allah withholds to protect. Sometimes He delays to purify. And sometimes He gives in a way that brings you closer to Him, not further away. So instead of constantly asking, try this, remember Him, take those few minutes after Fajr and recite with full hadura. Let your heart be hadira, not distracted. Let your tongue move, but more importantly, let your qalbin feel. Because when you remember Allah consistently, Allah remembers you. And when Allah remembers you, He gives not in mahdud ways, but in ways beyond your imagination. فَأَذْكُرُونِي أَذْكُرْكُمْ. So remember me, and I will remember you. And when Allah opens the doors of rizq, no one can close them. There is a common misconception in our hearts about what true rizq, true provision, really is. Many of us have been conditioned to think that rizq only refers to money, a bank balance, or material possessions. We pray, we ask, we hope, and often we measure our success by what we see physically. But this narrow view limits our understanding of Allah's immense generosity. Rizq is far more than numbers on a ledger or material wealth. It is everything that sustains your soul, your heart, and your life in ways that go beyond what the eye can see. Consider peace in your heart when everything around you is chaotic. That inner calm, that tranquility that prevents anxiety and despair from taking over is a form of rizq. It is a blessing given by Allah that protects you from being consumed by worldly worries. Many people chase money, thinking it will solve all their problems. Yet without peace, wealth becomes heavy and suffocating rather than freeing. This peace, this contentment, is a treasure that no one can take from you, and it is far more valuable than gold. Rizq also comes in the form of health, the ability to wake up every day and fulfill your responsibilities, to serve others, and to worship Allah properly. Without health, material wealth becomes meaningless, but even a simple healthy day, free from pain or struggle, is a blessing, a provision that we often take for granted. Protection from unseen dangers, guidance in decision-making, supportive family, true friends, and even knowledge. These are all forms of rizq. Allah's generosity is not limited to what is tangible. He provides in ways that safeguard, nurture, and elevate us spiritually and emotionally. And yes, material wealth is included in rizq, but it is not the entirety of it. The wealth that Allah gives, when coupled with barakah, sustains you, benefits others, and brings peace rather than stress. It does not diminish your faith, lead to arrogance, or distract you from remembrance of Allah. This type of rizq is the one that truly multiplies, grows, and lasts. When we expand our understanding of rizq to include peace, health, protection, and knowledge, we see that Allah's provision is infinite, continuous, and often more abundant than we ever imagined. Rizq, therefore, is not just what you can see, but everything Allah gives to make your life whole and purposeful. By recognizing the unseen blessings around us, we shift our hearts from craving what we lack to appreciating what we have, and in doing so, we unlock a deeper, richer experience of Allah's mercy and generosity. So often we find ourselves stuck in a cycle of asking. We raise our hands in dua, we whisper our needs in the quiet of the night, and we repeat the same requests day after day. We hope, we long, and yet, when the response does not come immediately, our hearts grow restless. We begin to question, why am I not receiving? Does Allah not hear me? And in these moments, the soul can become weary, burdened by expectation and uncertainty. But what if the issue is not that Allah is withholding, but that we are missing the deeper way in which He gives? What if there is a shift that is far more powerful than asking? A shift from asking to remembering. When we speak of dhikr, of remembrance, it is easy to think of it as just words, a ritual of repetition. But dhikr is not mere speech. It is the language of the heart. It is an acknowledgement that Allah is the source of all that exists, that every breath, every blessing, every moment belongs to Him. When the heart moves from constant requesting to consistent remembrance, something profound begins to occur. The soul aligns itself with the rhythm of Allah's mercy. The heart softens, the mind clears, and the weight of constant expectation lifts. In remembering Allah, we stop measuring our lives by what we lack and begin to see what we already possess. This shift does not mean we stop asking. It does not mean we abandon our needs or desires. Instead, it transforms how we ask. Our du'as become rooted in trust rather than desperation. Our requests are accompanied by gratitude, patience, and acceptance of divine wisdom. There is power in turning away from the relentless focus on outcomes and redirecting that energy toward acknowledging the one who controls all outcomes. Dhikr reminds us that even when what we ask for does not arrive in the way we imagined, Allah's wisdom encompasses everything we cannot see. Consistent remembrance creates a spiritual channel that opens the heart to blessings that often go unnoticed. Doors begin to open in unexpected ways. Opportunities arise, not always in the form we anticipated, but in the form that truly benefits our faith, our character, and our long-term well-being. The shift from asking to remembering allows the heart to surrender, and in surrendering it receives. In dhikr, we cultivate a presence that goes beyond desire. An awareness that Allah's provision is constant, His timing perfect, and His understanding beyond our comprehension. When we embrace this practice, the heart experiences a transformation. Asking becomes accompanied by trust, need becomes tempered by gratitude, and the soul discovers a profound peace that cannot be measured by outcomes. In remembering Allah consistently, we open ourselves to a flow of blessings that asking alone could never bring. There is a quiet magic in the early hours of the day, in the stillness after Fajr, while the world around us sleeps and the distractions of life have not yet begun to pull at our attention. There is a unique spiritual atmosphere waiting to be embraced. This time is not ordinary. It carries a special barakah, a blessing that transforms simple acts of worship into moments of immense spiritual power. The angels witness these early morning hours, and Allah Himself honors the heart that turns toward Him when the world is still calm, soft, and untouched by the chaos of daily life. After Fajr, the heart is more receptive. The soul is fresh, not yet burdened by stress, worry, or worldly concerns. Mind has not yet been clouded by distractions or negativity, and the spirit is soft, ready to receive what Allah intends to give. It is a time when dhikr, remembrance, and supplication are not just acts. They are opportunities for transformation. The prayers offered in this hour, the whispers of the heart, carry weight and sweetness that are rarely matched at other times of the day. There is a serenity in sitting quietly, letting your heart turn fully to Allah, that cannot be replicated in moments of hurry or distraction. This is also the time when intentions can be purified. When the world sleeps, we have a choice to engage in meaningless distractions or to anchor our hearts in remembrance. Choosing the latter is a powerful act of devotion and self-discipline. It is a declaration to Allah, I choose you first, before all else. I choose your presence, your guidance, your mercy. The act of remembering Allah consistently after Fajr sends ripples through the soul. It sets the tone for the rest of the day, filling it with calm, purpose, and clarity. It aligns your actions with divine guidance, making even ordinary tasks infused with blessing. There is also a subtle spiritual advantage. This hour is a time of acceptance. Du'as made after Fajr, with sincerity and presence, are especially honored. The heart is closest to Allah in this soft, quiet state, and the requests offered in humility and trust are heard in ways that may not be immediately visible, but whose effects unfold gradually and profoundly. This is why scholars emphasize the importance of early morning worship and dhikr. It is not just about doing more, it is about doing differently with awareness, presence, and devotion, tapping into a time filled with divine light and mercy. By embracing the moments after Fajr for remembrance, you open your day and your life to blessings that are often invisible to the eye, but deeply transformative to the heart. This time holds a sacred opportunity to align your soul with Allah, to invite barakah into every step of your day, and to establish a foundation of peace, guidance, and provision that extends far beyond what you can imagine. Consistency is one of the most powerful, yet often overlooked keys to unlocking blessings in our lives. Many of us search for shortcuts, magic formulas, or instant results when it comes to our prayers and spiritual practices. We hope for immediate change or sudden openings in our rizq, forgetting that Allah values sincerity, patience, and perseverance above speed. The act of repeating a dhikr 7 times after Fajr or any other small, consistent act of remembrance carries immense weight, not because the number itself holds mystical power, but because consistency cultivates presence, focus, and trust in the heart. It is the repetition done with awareness and devotion that transforms simple words into powerful acts of connection with Allah. When you engage in this practice consistently, your heart begins to internalize the remembrance. It is no longer just a series of words on your tongue. It becomes a rhythm for the soul, a habit of turning back to Allah, and a shield against the distractions and trials of life. The mind, which is often pulled in 100 directions, begins to anchor itself in divine presence. The soul, which longs for assurance, begins to feel comfort and trust. The power of consistency is not always visible immediately, but over time, it reshapes the way you see yourself, your circumstances, and the world around you. Consistency also builds trust. When we commit to remembering Allah daily, even in small ways, we are signaling to ourselves and our hearts that we rely on Him, not only for immediate results, but for ultimate wisdom and provision. It teaches patience and humility, because the effects of this remembrance are not always immediate or obvious. Often, the blessings unfold gradually in ways that are far more beneficial than we could have imagined. Opportunities may appear subtly, relationships may strengthen, or unseen protections may be placed in our path, all because of the consistent turning of the heart toward Allah. Furthermore, consistent dhikr opens a spiritual channel that attracts barakah. Each repetition, done with presence, strengthens the connection between your soul and the divine. It is like watering a plant every day. At first, growth may seem slow or imperceptible, but over time, the roots deepen and the plant flourishes in ways that are natural, strong, and enduring. Similarly, small, repeated acts of remembrance cultivate a spiritual resilience that becomes a foundation for blessings in every area of life. In essence, consistency transforms intention into reality. It is not the quantity, but the quality of your presence and devotion that matters. When you show up for Allah every day, even in the smallest ways, you invite Him to show up in your life in ways beyond imagination. Consistency is the key that turns ordinary words into extraordinary blessings and fleeting acts into a lifetime of connection and provision. The way we perceive abundance is often limited by what we can see or measure. Many of us define blessings by tangible results. How much money is in the bank, how successful a project seems, or how quickly opportunities come our way. Yet Allah's barakah works in ways that are far beyond the limits of our understanding. When we engage in remembrance and turn our hearts toward Him, a subtle but powerful transformation begins. Our perspective shifts. We start to notice what was always there, hidden blessings that we previously overlooked, and our understanding of what it means to be truly wealthy begins to expand. This shift in perspective begins with gratitude. When we consistently remember Allah, our hearts naturally become attuned to His countless favors. We start to see that even small conveniences, like a roof over our head, clean water, a family that loves us, or a simple act of kindness, are all forms of rizq, provisions given to us by Allah's mercy. When our hearts recognize these blessings, we no longer measure success solely by accumulation, but by barakah, by the quality and impact of what we have. Gratitude becomes a lens through which abundance is no longer scarce, because we are actively acknowledging what already fills our lives. This new perspective also allows us to recognize opportunities we may have ignored before. Doors that seemed closed begin to reveal openings in unexpected places. An idea or connection that we once overlooked can suddenly take on immense significance. Our vision expands, and we become aware that Allah's provision does not always arrive in ways we expect. Sometimes the wealth we seek manifests as guidance, wisdom, strengthened relationships, or opportunities for growth that are far more sustaining than money alone. The more we practice remembrance, the more attuned we become to these hidden blessings, and the more we realize that abundance is not something to chase. It is something to recognize. Moreover, this shift in perspective brings peace. When we begin to see barakah in the ordinary, we no longer feel desperate or anxious about what we lack. We start to trust that Allah's timing is perfect, and that every provision, whether immediate or delayed, is meant to guide, protect, and benefit us. By focusing on barakah rather than mere quantity, we cultivate patience, contentment, and a deeper connection with Allah. In the end, the true power of remembrance is that it transforms our inner vision. Through dhikr, our hearts learn to see wealth, abundance, and blessings not as finite or superficial, but as infinite and multifaceted. We begin to understand that Allah's provision is all-encompassing, and in recognizing it, we find richness that no worldly measure could ever capture. Life often teaches us lessons in ways we do not expect. We ask, we strive, we plan, and sometimes, despite our best efforts, the doors we long to open remain closed. In those moments, it is easy to feel disappointment, frustration, or even doubt. But Allah's wisdom is far beyond our understanding. What we perceive as delays, rejections, or withholdings are often acts of divine protection, purification, and guidance. Sometimes Allah holds back what we desire, not out of denial, but out of love and deep knowledge of what is truly best for us. When Allah delays rizq, He may be protecting us from harm we cannot yet see. There are blessings that, if given prematurely or without preparation, could bring harm instead of benefit. A wealth that comes without barakah may create arrogance or distraction. A relationship given at the wrong time may cause pain instead of comfort. And an opportunity without readiness may lead to failure. In His infinite wisdom, Allah withholds certain things until we are ready to receive them fully, ensuring that the provision we receive becomes a source of growth, not harm. Delays also serve as a means of purification. Every waiting period, every unmet expectation, and every moment of patience is an opportunity to refine the heart. Allah uses these moments to strengthen our reliance on Him, to cultivate trust, gratitude, and humility. By learning to wait without despair, the soul develops resilience and a deeper connection with the divine. The very act of surrendering to His timing, instead of forcing outcomes, teaches us that ultimate success is measured not by speed or ease, but by alignment with Allah's plan. Sometimes what seems like withholding is actually guidance. Allah may redirect us to paths we never imagined, leading us to opportunities far greater than what we initially sought. A closed door may guide us toward a door that opens to immense spiritual growth, lasting wealth, or meaningful relationships. The heart that trusts Allah learns to see delay not as denial, but as preparation for something far better than imagined. Recognizing this divine wisdom transforms our perspective. Instead of frustration, we develop patience. Instead of despair, we cultivate trust. Instead of focusing solely on what we lack, we begin to appreciate the blessings already surrounding us. Every delay, every moment of waiting becomes a chance to strengthen faith, purify the heart, and prepare for the abundance that Allah is ready to pour forth. True understanding of rizq includes seeing Allah's timing, wisdom, and mercy in every circumstance, trusting that what He gives or delays always serves our ultimate good and leads to blessings beyond our imagination.